when that thing happened, I decided that I have to do my own.
You have to be on your own.
Yes, I be on my own.
Draw from your own resources.
Whenever there is study group arrangement, I will tell the professor, in any class, I will not participate, I will do. Usually, I study in my vehicle. I had a Mazda 626. Mazda. I stay in that vehicle, my back seat, and study. Because I don't go into the library. I stay there and thank God. God gave me the gift. God gave me the protection. And I was able to excel.
It's remarkable.
Yes.
This must have really traumatized you.
Yes, it was a difficult period, but I was on a mission. I have a purpose. I had a purpose.
And nothing was going to stand in your way.
It's going to stop me from getting to where I'm going. But thank God that when I take my exams, I pass. That's the ultimate thing.
As you did in the class.
Yes, I did well.
I did well. You did extremely well.
Yes, I did well.
And because you're quite good with your hands.
Yes.
You're quite good with the pen. And as a lawyer, of course.
Yes.
Writing a case, briefing a case, summarizing its content and presenting it clearly is as important as eloquently speaking about a case. And since you are abundantly rich in the first, it did not take very much clearly for you to refine and develop your communicative skills. And I must say, as an Ethiopian, as an African like you, that you speak quite well, as a matter of fact.
Thank you.
Now, let's begin talking about you as a lawyer. When did you open this fabulous law firm that you have in?
It was years ago when I started.
Let's talk about how you started it, and the challenge and the triumphs.
I've been on my own since I started the course of being a lawyer. And
how big is describe the law office to me?
I have a large law office. I have about 3 different rooms, 2 different rooms, and a conference room. And then the receptionist area. And my own section is in the back. And that's my caseload. As it grows, I try to expand. But I started as one man.
It's a one-man firm.
One-man firm. And
now it has expanded.
Yes, that's how.
How many partners do you have now?
I don't have partners. It's mine, but I can
employees.
Bring people,
you can bring
lawyers in
experts.
Yeah.
Yes. And the cases that you deal with are essentially criminal law, immigration issues, divorce, litigation. Pick up any particular case out of these several facets of your practices that you'd like the audience to know something about.
Yes, I specialize in the areas that you mentioned. My passion for law, as I told you, that I am here not for the money, not for the prestige, but for the benefit and the fight to advocate for the voiceless, the needy. And I went into immigration as a foreigner. I know what it takes and how hard it is to live in America.
To be legalized.
Yes.
To get a legal status.
Yeah, to get a legal
talk
status.
About that.
Yes.
Immigration. How difficult is it to legalize?
Yes.
Lots of individuals who come from Africa, since the focus of our conversation is coming from Africa.
Yeah, coming from Africa, it is really hard to get yourself established here as far as immigration is concerned.
Why that?
The laws, immigration laws, are set up in such a way that it's not something that you just get in and then overcome immediately.
I see.
There are some conditions that you have to fulfill.
I see.
Based on your visa status coming in here. It depends on your visa status, and also the immigration benefits one seek to benefit from. One, the law gives you the right to marry, and your wife or your husband, as a U.S. citizen, you can marry a U.S. citizen spouse, and the U.S. citizen's spouse will petition for you.
What are the conditions that the petitioner has to satisfy, for example?
One.
Yes.
Number one, he or she must be a U.S. citizen.
That's an absolute condition.
That is number one qualification. Two, you must be married. And the marriage must be good faith marriage and not marriage contracted to circumvent the immigration law, the law of the United States. There must be good faith marriage. And that is the area that you have to demonstrate. They have extra burden to demonstrate that your marriage is legitimate. And you married not for immigration benefit, but for as husband and wife. You have to establish all those things, those demands. When you rent, your lease, your income tax, life insurance, health insurance, you know, those requirements that traditional husband and wife will involve in. Sometimes the demand is unnecessarily or unreasonably hard. I'm not going to go to that aspect right now, but you have to fulfill some of those obligations. Those are thresholds.
To provide the documents.
And then your husband or wife, the spouse, petitioner, U.S. citizen, will petition for the wife or the spouse as a petitioner, and then the process goes on.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, in this exceedingly difficult process of legalizing individuals who come from Africa, what are some of the typically difficult cases that you had to handle as a lawyer? What kind of African clients come to speak to you? What kind of services do they typically want? Are there any services that are particularly typical of Africans, or are African requirements of services just similar to that of others?
Most of our people here, Africans that are newcomers, they look for assistance, education, immigration education, you know, enlightenment, people to tell them what steps to take and what not to do. Those are some of the essential things that our people lack.
I see.
And as African immigrants, as they come in here, they just drop into a culture, a different society. It's very difficult for them to cope. One is language. Two is association.
I see.
Three is